Trail Racing Ring Runners here from the Nordschleife. As always, it's time for a couple of weeks actually that I've been very excited about all season. The MX5s, next week will be the Skippies, but this week it is the Mazda MX5 Cup cars on the combined short layout, which is maybe a little bit longer than what I was expecting actually, as far as the layout goes. This will be a long race, and this will be, it'll feel like one as well, because we're in the darkness here on the Nordschleife. It's myself, Ian D'Leary, and James Parfitt will bring you the action as always in a round, as I say, that I've been looking forward to pretty much all season. Let's have a look at how we look on the way into this round with the current championship standings. Corey Stas is leading the way as things stand. He's starting to take charge a little bit as well because he's just taken pole in this race. He's 8 points though ahead of Dave Mull with Evan Crowd, Dan Kosick and Dean Diltz all within 14 points, all within the top 5 as well. Dave Hernandez, Pat Messick are quite close together. Matt Green is then 8th, and then you get to those who haven't been at very many rounds this season down the bottom. In the AMs, Stephen Johnson is now leading by a long way, but don't let that fool you entirely. Scott Sadler has missed 2 rounds, and that's yet to be caught up with really in the drop weeks. So he's now third ahead, or behind rather, of Matt Van Horn by just 7 points. Andy Solomon's 4th, Chase Petterjohn's 5th, rounding out those in the top 5, and of course hasn't been at very many rounds so far this season, so hopefully we'll see a few more of those in this free car that everybody owns. Let's have a look at the starting grid for this race then, with Corey Stas leading by 1.2 seconds ahead of Dean Diltz. Dan Kosick, Matt Green on row 2 ahead of Evan Crowder, with Stephen Johnson taking the AM pole again. Dave Muller, Chase Petterjohn next ahead of Tim Watchow and Dave Hernandez. Andy Solomon and Pat Messick are on row 6 ahead of Chris Herron, Scott Sadler, Matt Van Horn and John Amico. Those last 5 drivers, by the way, including Messick downwards, all not qualifying, but I think will all race. You know, they've got onto the starting grid ready for this formation lap anyway, so they should race. Gaps in qualifying, James, were quite big, but expecting that not to actually be a problem here in the race. The draft in these MX5s is going to keep everybody very, very close together, or at least I think it will over the course of this race. Let's see.
Yeah, well, the upside of it is obviously the fact that it's the MX5s and we know that they bring great racing. The bad side of it, we're in the dark, and that isn't easy, especially here. But considering how long these guys have run this series now around here, they should kind of know this circuit by now. So I'm hoping the dark doesn't affect them, but you're just never quite sure how it goes. So we'll keep an eye out and see what goes on. But yeah, some great racing I'm sure coming up as well from these little cars. Is it going to give us the philosophy that slower cars bring greater racing?
Well, yeah, I've been... I think the last couple of weeks actually in LMP1 and Porsche Cup have slightly deviated from this idea that we've been testing and watching, see play out over the last few seasons, especially the last couple of seasons, I would say. But let's see if we get a really good race here, the MX5. I'm expecting it to be. As I say, these 2 weeks I've been looking forward to all season, to be honest. The MX5 Cup and the Skippies, they're slower cars, but they're good cars to drive as well in a group. So yeah, looking forward to it. Let's see how it goes. 4 laps as always. The combined short layout this time round, as I said at the start, maybe a little bit longer than what I expected actually when this season started. But let's see. I guess we can't have 2 races on the Nordschleife itself in a row. So anyway, let's see how it goes as Corey Stas brings them to the start-finish line here. The pace truck, as it is for these cars, pulls into pit lane, and Stas will bring them to the start-finish line in a moment to get underway. Waits quite a long time actually, and you can barely see him accelerate because these cars are so slow, but he is underway, and we are green flag racing here for 4 laps at the combined short layout of the Nurburgring Nordschleife. In towards turn number 1 for Stas. He has got all the space in the world here in these small cars. Dean Diltz behind him. Stas brakes quite late, and they need to get organised quickly here as far as getting the slipstream is concerned. Through the opening chicane they go, the lights blaring on the road in front of them, and they all get through cleanly by the looks of things. Crowd and Green 4th and 5th side by side, but they're getting organised. Even these guys at the back getting organised as well. It's a clean start all the way through.
It is at the moment. Them guys have done amazing. Stas run away at the start. Dean Diltz is sitting in 2nd place. Kosick in 3rd, chasing him down. Johnson, of course, leading the AM Championship. Leading the AMs again. He's getting a bit of a margin as far as Stephen Johnson. So the others are going to have to set chase. Well, ironically, with Chase Petterjohn on that one. That was not done on purpose. That was completely by accident. But Chase Petterjohn's going to have to get on a little bit and try and get past Stephen Johnson, put him under pressure, because otherwise Stephen Johnson's championship is going to be wrapped up fairly soon. But we'll see how this one goes.
Well, that's late on the brakes from Petterjohn. He's just about alongside Johnson. I don't think that was entirely on purpose. He looks again down the inside to Dave Hernandez now into the left-hander that brings him onto the north side. Oh, and Petterjohn loses his nerve a little bit and he brakes to try and alleviate a slide there. And they come flooding down his inside. There's a shoulder barge from Herring who gets past on the way onto the north side. So Petterjohn loses 4 places in one go. That's what happens when you just lose your nerve slightly. Now Messick is alongside. He needs to make some progress as well as a pro driver, but now he's let Johnson get away as Chase Petterjohn. And never mind that, he's now down to 5th in the class.
Yeah, he lost a lot of positions there to Chase, unfortunately. 4 places, putting down the order further down. Dan Cosick and Evan Krautfield are going to be close together. Matt Green still in there. Dave Mole chasing, but this is Cosick's not Cosick, sorry. This is Krautfield's situation with Cosick in front. Matt Green tucked in behind, and he is tucked in behind.
And very close indeed as they get up to the top at Flugplatz. And this is where this car starts to really become a great car for racing because of the slipstreaming opportunities around here. Normally in the fast... Oh, that was quite close. You don't want to do that. That was Green hitting Krautfeld on the way through the left-hander, and that can be very dangerous. But this is where it really is an advantage. Now, Dilts and Stas are not as organised, so they are going to be caught here by these 3. As long as they get organised themselves, Dilts wants to lead, and that might not be the worst idea for him, because otherwise Corey Stas might get away. He gets down the inside of Arenberg and he leads, but they've got to be careful not to invite the others into the fight. It's very difficult for Dilts here. He wants to keep Stas in check, and by getting in front of him he'll do that, but he also doesn't want to invite that 3 behind into the fray. So I wonder whether Stas is going to do what would be the sensible thing here and just push Dilts for maybe another couple of laps actually around the North Side while they distance the 3 behind.
Oh, they need to escape. It's as straightforward as that. They need to get away for the guys behind Cosick, Krautfeld and Green. The problem is they're not doing themselves any favours either. They're also fighting along. So while they're fighting, the other 2 up front are getting away a little bit more. Mole and Johnson. And then you've got Hernandez, who's got his watch out. Heron, Solomon, Petterjohn, Messick, Horn, Amico and Sadler all tucked in behind him. So David Anders has got a bit of a queue going on. But at the moment, Matt Green and Evan Krautfeld are still fighting it out. And they're still battling away as well.
And these guys have actually got rid of the guys behind as well. So the AM battle is going to be completely separate to the Pro one, which I thought might not be the case actually for the whole of this race. But it has become the case pretty quickly here this round. Through the chicane they now go. This is that AM battle. There's Hernandez sort of bridging between the 2. But watch out, Herring, Solomon, Petterjohn, Messick, Horn, Van Horn, Amico and Sadler all in one line here. That's 8 of them, is it? Counting on my fingers, just about got enough. 8 fingers, and it's 8 of them in a row for 9th place. On backwards, Green might join them as well. Matt Green just wants to spin through the slip. Only he is going to join them. Look at that. Now he's going to be swallowed up right in the middle of this group.
Yeah, he's going to join them, unfortunately, for Matt Green. We keep an eye and have a look at that a little bit later on. But now Matt Green's joined in soon. So we've gone to 9 cars at the moment. Dan Cosick and Krautfeld are still very close together. 1.7 seconds as well for these guys. So there's battles up and down. But this is kind of the group. And it starts in a way with Stephen Johnson, with Dave Hernandez as well. But Dave's now going to get dragged into the Watch How Heron, Green, Solomon, Petterjohn, Messick, Van Horn, Amico and Sadler situation as well. So this is going to be a great little swap. And I wouldn't be surprised if this stays where he is down the Dottingahoe. Could we see that 4-wide scenario, do we think?
Well, yes. Well, that one maybe not. But I think if this stays together later on in the race, then yeah, maybe. Because that's what I thought might happen, actually, at the earlier part of today. Stas, meantime, goes past Dilts on the run-up towards the Muck Curve. And this might not be the worst idea. He tries to get away, and he will try to get away through this final sector. We might even see 3 wide towards the Muck Curve, actually behind in that second group. For 7th place on backwards, Green just gets past Warchow, who get past Hernandez as well. Oh, hello. Nearly 3 wide, and he's being pushed here. Is Green on the inside, on the outside, I should say. Trying to contact. And in front of the field, he'll spin around Matt Green. And there's going to be more drivers in the wall here. Solomon in the fence. Oh, Pat Messak as well. Tim, watch out. It's not going to be our four-wide moment on the back straight because they've all come together at the fast left-hander.
And that is just purely because of one of them made a mistake. And that was the situation. Matt Green ended up going sideways. There was contact, and that whole pack that were having such a good race has just gone, and it's just puffed away like Harry Potter up a chimney. Unfortunately for these guys, they've all just gone now. That's it. That's the end of that battle. Hernandez survived it, and he's going to have a nice little ding-dong with Chris Herron, I'm sure. But at the moment, Dean Dilts, Corey Stas bringing the action up front.
That is a big, big shame.
Oh, I'm gutted, dude. I thought we were going to see like four wide down Dottigaho. The racing was amazing. And then it just goes. And Pettijohn, Solomon and Messick all in the pit lane.
But yeah, when you are that close, the smallest of mistakes are punished very severely. And it was only a little bit of contact. I didn't actually identify who it was who touched Green initially to send him into a spin. But I don't think it was Matt Green's fault particularly. We'll as always, decipher that one at the end of the race, but it was a slight mistake. Probably call it a racing incident by the end of the day, but a real shame considering the consequences for it. Hopefully, we'll have a leading battle to watch in the meantime. Dilts has done a good job through this most technical section of the racetrack now to stay with Corey Stas. I think Stas went through on the muck curve so that he could use this section to get away from Dean Dilts, but he's not been able to do that. And, well, not quite. Anyway, 7/10 of a second. He'll get a bit more slipstream now down the Stefan Bellafes and so on. But yeah, he's still there, it's Dilts. So maybe this is going to be a close race for the lead. And Evan Krautwald's not that far away either at the moment.
Yeah, I think Krautwald's only sitting about a second back at the moment. It's down to Dilts. I'm interested to see the draft because, as we both know, you know, with open setups, which is what these are, the draft really can play a massive part, absolutely huge part, especially going down this long straightaway. So yeah, let's keep an eye, see how close Dilts has to be. 7/10 at the moment, see if he's going to put it in from 7. I still reckon he might have a go at him, you know.
Yeah, let's see when they get down this very long back straight. And here we go, 6/10 of a second. Car's not quite there, and especially with Dilts getting a slipstream, he's going to be distanced from that quite heavily now. We do still have a group back for the third place in the AMS as well, so might be worth a watch later. But of course, they are only just coming around that final corner now, as Dilts really does get in the slipstream. Krautwald is picking up more of a slipstream than I was expecting him to. He's only a second behind, and what does Dilts decide to do here? He pushes Stas in quite severely as well. You saw Stas just break tracks in there on the straight just slightly, but Krautwald has got the double toe. So he got there just in time. He did a very good job through that final sector, and he's right there now as well. So Dilts is going to push Stas for a little while, but down the hill, he will pull out now, try and use the slingshot and try and get past. I don't think he's quite done this quite right. Not quite. Further behind. Are they going to go 4 wide? Not quite. And I think based on what they saw earlier, they're slightly traumatised, and they're not going to go 4 wide just yet. 3 in a row it is. And Matt Green gets to the front of the group. How he's managed to do that is going to remain a mystery, because the way he spun around there didn't hit anything. He's recovered from the spin, and now he's made up a few places on the back straight.
I think just before we got there, they were 4 wide. They were swapping in and out of places, and they were literally 0.001 apart from each other. So I think at some point, this group have swapped places. Sadler past Solomon, Sadler past Messick as well. That's all kicked up. Green past Solomon, Green past Watchow, Miko past Pettijohn, Van Horn past Pettijohn, Sadler past Pettijohn. There was a lot going on in that back group. Matt Green, Matt Van Horn, Matt Green past Amico, Matt Green past Sadler. So I do think at one point they were 4 wide.
They may have been, but who knows?
We will know later on when I go and have a look, because I've marked it up, because I want to see if that is what actually happened here. However, Dean Dilts, Stas and Krautwald are now together as well. So we're going to have a 3-car fight up front. We've got Mole and Johnson who are battling away down the Dottigaho. And then we've got Green, Amico, Horn and Sadler.
Should just say on Evan Krautwald, by the way, welcome back, because he wasn't here in the previous round after being in hospital for a little while quite recently. But thankfully, despite the fact I think he said in the Discord that he is going to have surgery at some point. But he says he's not in very much pain, and clearly he's not, or not anymore anyway, not in very much pain for this race because he's driving rather well. Certainly driving unaffected in the top 3 and did a very good job to actually get the slipstream of Dilts and Stas through that final sector. I thought it would just be the two running away, and I thought they'd help each other to make it just a 1v1. But Krautwald did a very good job through the final sector of the previous lap, and he's now with them. So it's 3 for the lead. Not sure Dan Cossett's quite going to have the speed to catch them, but I said that about Krautwald before, and he did have the speed, lo and behold. So let's see whether the same is true for Dan Kossett. But either way, we're going to have 3 for the lead, and that is a good thing. Hopefully it remains that way for the next 2.5 laps.
Yeah, hopefully these guys will not end up like the battle we had previously as well, with the guys in the AMs. Chase Pettijohn, Messick, Solomon, Watchow, Sadler, Van Horn, Amico, Green, Hernandez were all involved of that incident. But these guys, I think, really could put each other under some serious pressure if they do that. But I am a little bit worried what this man's going to do. Why are you sitting there watching it?
Yeah, he's probably doing the smart thing, not getting involved, or is he going to get involved on the outside? He is looking. Wonder whether he wants to filter past Dilts. Does he trust Team Dilts to stay with Corey Stas at the front of this race? Or would he rather trust himself? Oh, that's close. As they get now towards Arenberg. That was close. Hernandez gets past Heron meantime. That's probably an easy pass for Hernandez to make as he continues to run his way through the field in this race. So far, he is, how many places he made? Just made up a couple of places. At now 3 as he continues on. Dilts, meantime, goes down the inside of Stas. Oh, and that was close. Krautwald wants to follow through. Krautwald definitely wants to be in second because he's more in control of his own destiny there. And he does slip through on Corey Stas. So the pole sitter down to 3rd suddenly.
Yeah, but if this stays like this, I think 3rd's the best place to be. You get a double draft in, you get towed in. Heron and Hernandez, they've not swapped places. Amico, Van Horn and Matt Green. No, Amico, Van Horn and Sadler, I should say. I would stay in 3rd. With the double draft to 3rd, I would stay in 3rd place.
It just seems that, you know, if the driver in 2nd, though, makes a mistake or whatever, then you can be in real trouble. So it's really down to Krautwald now. If he's in 2nd position, then he is in control of things. I can understand a little bit more in wanting to get past Dilts, actually, because of the qualifying times or whatever, but a little bit surprised he was so eager to get past Stas to go into 2nd, because he surely would have trusted Stas to stay with Dilts, but anyway, not yet. Amico, Van Horn and Sadler are still 3 battling for 10th. Matt Green is clearly quicker than them, though, and he is getting away.
Yeah, he's escaping up the road as Matt Green is about 2 seconds at this moment in time. Krautwald is up to something here. Oh, no, it's actually Corey Stas. Now, the interesting thing would be if Stas and Krautwald battle, can Dean escape? That's going to be the thing. That would be what Dean Dilts' optional extra would be, when he would turn around and go, well, yeah, I want them two to battle so I can escape up the road. But the question is are they going to battle, or are they going to be too smart for that and stay with Dilts?
Let's see. They're not taking each other out the back just yet, so Dilts is still going to be slipstreaming on the way to the mud curve, and based on what we saw last lap, may well be an overtake coming up here on the way towards that fast left-hander. Now get into the slipstream on the run up the straight through the left-hander at Kesselsen, is here. Well, it's not really a corner in any car, but now Krautwald is on the straight and narrow, and he's in the slipstream. He is going to go through here. His speed is sufficient for him to get past Dean Dilts, it looks like, and maybe Stas is going to follow here on the inside. Dilts may have to give way to both of them on the way to the fast left-hander. They go side by side. Stas wants to get this done, and he's going to give the slipstream to Dilts, is Evan Krautwald now. He wants to keep the two battling. He wants to keep them side by side so that he can race away into the Stars tracker, but I don't think it's quite going to happen. Krautwald will get through, and what about for 2nd? Stas versus Dilts, it's still going on here, and one of them got to back out before the carousel. Stas is on the inside, so surely it'll be him who takes the place, but Dilts is still there. He's got to get into the carousel, and he does, but the gap now, 7 tenths of a second. Stas has got a big final sector coming up here.
Yeah, this is it now. Corey Stas has got to try and stay with Krautfeld. I think, to be honest, the draft's going to be doing that for him. I think if he just sits in behind Krautfeld at any point, that draft's going to motor him forward. And when that draft really kicks in the run now as well, that they are basically going to be able to stay together. This is probably not one of the fastest circuits because obviously you got a straight, but this is quite a quick section. You don't really have to lift as much in these cars as you probably people think. You can take this one in third gear and then run it out as well. But yeah, it's very, very interesting to see how close Stas is going to be able to get.
Well, he's recovered that slightly precarious situation, and he's now in the slipstream proper of well, they've not quite got rid of tilts though, which will be a little bit disappointing to them as they come through Brunchen now, and now we'll get on the power towards Flansgården. There's the left-hander that brings them down the hill. We'll start getting the slipstream from here effectively. It's not too technical from now on, pretty high speed, and of course in these higher speed sections the MX5 spend longer on it, which helps them. Now they go over the jump. Not really a jump in these cars, of course. And then the Stefan Belafes, again, all slipstreaming opportunities these on the way through here. And yep, the three are basically on top of each other now, coming into Schrabenschanz, which means we're going to have another run down the Jottinger with slipstream in play. And it also means, different to last lap, we've got three of them. So this will be different to the first time of asking.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is what it looks like from Dean Diltz's situation. He's been using the draft to his advantage, but you can see the battles on the left-hand side. Mole and Johnson, Heron and Hernandez, Horn, Van Horn, Sadler and Amico. You know, these are all going to be positions that are going to be swapped at some point. But let's see how it gets on with Dean Diltz here.
Oh, then Stas is a lot closer to Krautfeld than Diltz is to the other two, but Stas is going to go for it anyway, quite early. Pushed to the right-hand side. Diltz is going to then use him as well as Krautfeld, so the leader's going to be third pretty quickly. Diltz, though, is going to go through the middle. He uses slipstream from both very cleverly there. He timed it just right to get a monster double slipstream, and he's passed Stas, I think, with enough speed to hold the lead all the way to the line. But Krautfeld is going to get back into the slipstream as well, and he's going to box in Stas. Now, despite the fact that Corey Stas is there, he's boxed in now, and he can only help Diltz keep the lead, but Stas is going to be third. Who's going to lead, though, as they get through the Tiergarten for the next time? Krautfeld on the inside, Diltz on the outside, brakes quite late. He gets it stopped in time at the end of another lap here at the front. Dean Diltz will lead, and Stas will try and get back past Krautfeld behind Hernandez and Heron work together. Miko, Sadler and Van Horn will go nearly three wide. They probably were three wide earlier. Miko will come out with the position. Stas will get ahead of Krautfeld as well. So it's all change at the front, and maybe a bit of a preview as to what we're going to get at the end of the race. That was late, though, from Stas. Now he'll be under pressure. He'll have the inside for turn two, though. And he'll keep second place. Bit of a slide on the exit. 8 attempts, nearly 9. Dean Diltz with an advantage now that might well be driven home by Evan Krautfeld going down the inside into the hairpin. Oh, this is going to be interesting now. 1 second for the first time for the leader.
Yeah, 1.1 back at the moment, Stas and Krautfeld. Diltz is going to be sitting there lapping this up, I should say, because he will just love the fact that they're fighting. But how far is the draft out? We saw it pick up on 8 attempts. Is it going to be further out that they're going to be able to start closing in? I'm going to find this very, very interesting indeed. And I've got to wait now until they go all the way down through Flugplatz and down into Arenberg, because that's really the next straightaway that these guys will tackle. But I think this is going to be one of them where you're going to sit back and think, do you know what? That's possibly a great ending to this race. And Krautfeld at the moment just dropping back from Stas a little bit.
He's just letting Stas do the work here, effectively. Just getting that gap below a second again. You'd imagine that Stas will be able to do this, considering his pole time earlier on in the day. Through the right-hander before the Hatzenbach now. 8 tenths of a second. This gap is definitely closed now. And so Stas has rescued this one. Oh, has he? He's gone back to over a second again as just misses that corner slightly, the right-hander. This will be very telling, this run to Flugplatz and down to Arenberg. Is their slipstream from this distance? It's out to 1.11, nearly 1.2 now as they come out of the section. Well, this is a big decision now. Krautwald could go side by side with Stas, and that would almost give Team Dilts the race win at this stage.
Yeah, I think you might be right. But I think they're not going to do that. As much as we think would sit back and love them to do it, I don't think they are. Or is he?
No.
No, he just bumps him and pushes him along. So, yeah, for these guys, it's just a bump and run.
That's defend, so he's not totally confident that Krautwald's going to stay behind him. I would have stayed on the racing line there if I was him, but it hasn't really cost him anything. Through Tredenkreuz, that was quite late in the brakes, but oh, he just about pulled it up in time. That was quite done from Corey Stas, who's now only half second behind Dean Dilts, and he is right there all of a sudden. This is looking good for Stas and Krautwald. They've brought Dean Dilts back again, and this is the advantage of having three in the group as well when you are the trailing two, is that you've got somebody there to save you if you're in second place. If it was Stas and Dilts on their own, Dilts might have gotten away by now because there would have been nobody there to save Corey Stas.
I am a little bit worried about Dean Dilts being at the front, you know. I am a little bit scared because I think that him at the moment, really, for me, I wouldn't want to be at the front. I'd rather be third and use that double draft to get past him down the Donga Ho. That's what I would do because I just feel that he's somewhat of a sitting duck at the front.
It's hard to know where you should be going on to the final lap, to be honest. I think this lap should be used to try and test it out because I can't. Did Dilts enter? No, he entered second, I think, last time, or was it third? He's definitely tried being one of the trailing cars going on the way to the Jotting Hill. So I would, because it's the penultimate lap and you've still got time to jockey for position on the last lap, I would just try out being first and just see what happens because he's, as I say, he's already tried third and he's tried second, I think, when he was just with Stas on his own. So, yeah, I would try first because he hasn't done it before yet.
Well, yeah, but normally being at the front, you're always in trouble. That's the thing. And I'm a little bit scared for Dilts, to be honest with you, how he's going to manage being at the front. So we've got Bergwerk coming up and we've got Kestrashin as well. All tougher corners, and these guys are going to make it the best of them. Now, are they going to go free wide up the hill?
Well, let's find out here. Don't think they'll go free wide, but I think there might be a change for the lead. Dilts might not have much choice about where he enters this back straight on the second to last lap. I said he'd want to practice being in the lead. I don't think he's going to get that choice. Actually very close with Stas at the moment. There's not a big gap between those two right now. So he will be passed, I would imagine. Dean Dilts, it's just a case of where. And it might already be on the way to Kestrashin here as they come through the left-hander. Not quite, but almost as they come out of the corner. Stas pulls alongside. Is Krautwald going to force it free wide, as you say? He's going to leave it. And so I think this is how they were ordered last time, wasn't it? They were ordered Stas, Krautwald, Dilts onto the back straight last time. I think they're doing exactly the same thing again.
Yeah, I think you might be right there as well, but please don't take our word for it because obviously, you know, doing quite a lot here. But I think you might be right. But I do wonder how Dilts is going to come back at these guys as well. What's going on with Hernandez and Heron? They are literally... Oh, they
just got away from Heron earlier, but Heron's caught him up again now. And these four are back together because Matt Green's made a mistake. So, well, we know what happened last time. These four were together along with another 4 or 5 on the way towards this corner. Side by side into the corner as well. Got to be careful over the curb. Oh my word! Amico there should not have smacked the curb that hard, and he's pretty lucky that Matt Van Hork gave him the room, because otherwise that would have been very similar to the lap 1 crash.
Yeah, we would have had 4 more people gone in one foul swoop. So let's try and keep it clean, gentlemen. See if we can get back to the end of the race like this. The gap out front is down to 3 tenths at the moment. Wonder how Stas and Krautwald are doing with Dilts. They're slowly, ever so slowly dropping Dilts.
Yeah, they are a little bit. I actually think these two were the other way around before. Dilks is definitely last, but maybe these two were the other way. Anyway, he's slowly being dropped. What we've seen, though, is that even if there's two in front, saw it with Krautwald earlier, you need at least a 1.2 seconds. It's not just the 1 second that we normally talk about for just two individuals. Actually, for the double slipstream, it looks like you need at least 1.2, and I don't think they're going to manage that. Dilks has held his own pretty well, even though he's over half a second behind.
Yeah, he has, but I think that drive's going to keep him up. I'm interested to see how Mole has come into the grips of Kosick and Johnson. They're battling it out behind. And then we've got Matt Van Horn with John Amico, Matt Green and Scotty Sadler. But at the moment, we're going to focus on this lead battle and how close are they going to get down now as they come on that run down to the final couple of corners, then into Galgenkopf, and then onto the Dottingham once more.
Oh, there's been a crash back in that group before. Matt Green has crashed, and yeah, some others as well. John Amico, what's going on with Matt Green's timing there? it's bouncing around like you wouldn't believe. Anyway, John Amico gets underway as well. They've Scully spun. Van Horn and Sadler have been separated by the battle as well. This is Mull, Kosick and Stephen Johnson. Altogether, what a race Stephen Johnson is having again. He is the championship leader in the AM class. He's going to extend that as well with this latest race result by the looks of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the fact that obviously these guys are continuing to fight up front here as well. Stephen Johnson's got his gap he needs. He's going to use the guys in front to pull in near. Perrin, Fernandez, Horn, Sadler, Miko Green, all battling it out within the AM group. That should free up Stephen Johnson. But Corey Stas, line astern.
Not for long. They're going to get double file quite quickly here, but no three wide. Dilts is going to push Stas initially here. That's what we saw in lap 1, by the way. Dilts pushing Stas. Obviously, Krautwald wasn't here, but Stas getting pushed, and then late on, Dilts going for it. Now, Dilts went a little bit too late last time, because he did it just about now, but he pulled alongside earlier this time, and he is going to make more progress out there, I think. Here he goes, on the brakes, probably quite late here into the Tiergarten. Inside line, it will be when he gets to the braking zone here, and he's through. So Dilts will get the chance to lead again, and Krautwald wants to follow through. That was opportunistic from Krautwald, who wants to be second going on to this last lap. He'll get the run on Stas as well as they come out of the corner. Those are your three who will battle for this race win over the course of the next 9.5 minutes. Further behind, Johnson, Mull and Kosick will battle away as well. Mull will get past Johnson late on the way on the brakes. And, well, they're on the straight side by side. Actually, this is a bit rare on the Grand Prix straight. It might even be the run to the line a little bit later on as Johnson goes to the middle of the group, then back to the back again. And Kosick, then Mull further behind. Hernandez is wobbling over the circuit a little bit here, but he's on his own. Matt Van Horn and Sadler keep it calm. Hernandez has been off somewhere, hasn't he, in the last sector? Mm-hmm. He's down to 10th again.
Yeah, him and Chris Herron by the looks of it. Whether or not they were off together or whether or not they were off on the same part of the track, not too sure. Dan Kosick has also, by the looks of it, had some form of drama because he hasn't really lost time, so I'm not quite sure why that is showing that he's endangered. Something to think about there.
Yes. Definitely. Hernandez and Green now in pit lane at the end of that lap will not be a big factor. Still 15 in the race, by the way. Only Anthony Solomon retiring after his one crash with all of the others. Looks up the inside for Johnson. I'll get past Mull. Kosick is can't quite manage it. Looking for the top 5 yet. So we'll leave those three to battle away. They will continue. Dilts, Krautwald and Stas will continue as well. They're just onto the Hatzenbach right now. Who's going to win this race? We're absolutely no closer to finding out as Dilts leads them onto another lap on the north side.
Yeah, in a way, you want Dilts to win, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, and I am going to check things here, but I don't think Dilts has won a race yet, has he?
This season he won the HPDs.
Yeah, the ARXs, so he would have had one. So, yeah, that's a shame. I thought this could be his first sort of hurrah, should we say, but he's just got his last lap. Green, by the looks of it, has given himself some drama. And unfortunately, he's dropped down the order down to 14th for Pat Messick behind it. Then Corey Stice, Eric Crautfield, and Dean Diltz still considering having this fight.
And will Crautfield go through here? Or yes, he will. So Diltz would be wise to let Crautfield through here, I think. And then he wants Stas to overtake him probably because he's been third going on to the dotting her last couple of times. It's worked for him. Crautfield on the inside. I think he's trying to overtake now so that he gets overtaken again before the end of the lap and so that he can not be first going on to the through Gavenkopf. But they're not entirely sure how they're going to figure this one out yet. There's going to be a lot of jockeying for position now as Diltz gets a good run now down the Fuchsrow and through on Crautfield straight away again. We've not seen too many moves here since lap 1 really, or lap 2 it was when Crautfield got past Stas. Through this left-hander, they're side by side, the two leaders. Stas can just hold back and watch as Crautfield continues to lead. He just about holds to the position there. Ahead, that was strong driving from the two of them. Nice space given. Part of the racetrack where it could have gone very, very wrong.
Yeah, they did respectfully give each other room, didn't they? That's the thing. And I think they've done a great job at it. These guys generally do as well. No incident is normally on purpose. And you're probably not going to see them hold a grudge as such either. But for me, it was just how is Diltz going to play this? I find being in second so much more difficult because you've got to look in front and behind. So I'm wondering how Diltz is going to cope with Corey Stas coming at him and Evan Crautfield trying to get away.
Stas, I think, is doing the wise thing here, just waiting now. He's seen what it's like being at the front of this group, going on to the back straight, and he's thinking, I don't really want to do that again. So he's going to stick behind. What are Diltz and Crautfield going to do on the run to the muck over here? So interesting here to see the jockeying position that might take place. I wonder, though, since the leader of the group going on to the back straight has been mauled every time, I wonder whether there's going to be anyone who wants to lead this field and whether they're all sort of going to be slowing down, trying to get somebody else to overtake them.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we're going to have a to me to you moment going on to the dotting a hoe. I'm kind of sitting there back thinking, final lap, we're going to come in through the Galgenkopf, we're going to come in through that side of the circuit, and I'm wondering if they are going to be very much to me to you, to me to you, and it's going to be really kind of like a Hamilton-Verstappen incident where they couldn't decide who wanted DRS.
Oh, yeah. That was
amusing.
Comical. Yeah, maybe. A little bit comical. But there you go. Anyway, let's see whether these guys do that on the way here. Yeah, look at this. Diltz, I think, is pushing Crautfield here. Pass through. Oh, bit of miscommunication. I don't think Stas was entirely confident that Diltz would actually give him the room there, and Diltz wasn't confident he wasn't going to get spun round into a fence, so he's just had to back out of it. Here comes Stas looking at the inside. No, can't manage to get through, and somehow they all stay in the positions they were before. I don't think entirely by design. I think they were a little bit careful because they nearly hit each other. Here comes Johnson. He comes past Dave Mull on the way to 4th place. What a race Johnson's having, but he might have gone a bit too soon here.
He may have gone too soon, but he covered Mole off quite easily. Oh, as I said, Mole's going to try. No, it's fine. Mole's going to try and come back round again, and then Dan Cossett's going to get himself involved as well in the right hander before the carousel. Ooh, nicely done by them.
Oh, Crautfield is off, is he? Or has he just dropped to the back of the group? Now, he missed the carousel. Now, did he do that on purpose, maybe, to go to the back of the group? He's lost quite a lot of time. I don't think he was trying to lose quite that much time, but he may have accidentally on purpose missed the carousel there.
Accidentally on purpose. Love it.
Yeah.
I think if he's done that, then, you know, look, he's played the game, and that's it at the end of the day. But we've also got Mole, Johnson and Cossack. We've got Matt Van Horn and Scotty Sadler still out. Let's not forget, they've been close throughout this race, and they're still battling away now. Them guys on their way into the carousel here. But Stephen Johnson and Dan Cossack and Dave Mole are having a nice little battle a little bit further down. Your leaders, however, are coming up to the right-hander now. Where are they? Up by Whifferman, I believe, before they go into Brunchen.
They are, yep. Here we go. And the left-hander at Eschbach. And then that's a bit wide for Mull. This is the right-hander before Brunchen. YouTube corner, as it's sometimes called, informally.
Why?
This is where you've because this is where, have you ever watched those Nurburgring videos? They're always filmed from that corner. Seems to be.
Oh.
You know the people who film the tourist days. People doing stupid things in unsuitable cars in real life here.
So when are we going to take your car over there?
I'm not going to be doing that. I would like to do it one day, actually, but no, not anytime soon. It's not in the offing, I don't think. Anyway, I wonder if any of these guys done it. I doubt it somehow. Anyway, the leaders, 3 in a row, will very shortly be on the run down the back straight for the final time and be deciding this race win between themselves. Dean Dilts, who's got 1 win this season so far in the HPDs. Corey Stas, who's got 3 so far in the FF1600s, the TCRs and the LMP1s as well. And Evan Kratmo, who had to miss last race, winning in the mini stocks. They come through Gavenkop now. Let's see where they are in terms of each other. We're not seeing them for the moment, but Stas is going to be with Kratmo right behind him. Here he is. Kratmo's in a very awkward position there. He's caught up to Stas too quickly, and so he can't pull out too soon. Otherwise, he will not be given the slipstream and he'll go nowhere. So he's going to push Stas. He needs Stas to make this move as quickly as possible, and now he needs to follow him. He needs to not get boxed in as well here. There's not much space on the road now to go through. Dilts is going to go right to the back. It's the first time he's led the group onto the back straight, and it's not worked out well for him. He's not going to have enough straight, I don't think, to get involved unless the other two take each other off. Kratmo's going to come through on the slipstream. He might even be clear by the time they get into the Tiergarten. Dilts is going to find a way, is he? Oh, he's trying to make it free wide. There wasn't the space there quite as Kratmo tries to cut him off. Stas is on the other side trying to take the place from him. Late on the brakes. Oh, they've got contact. Where's Dilts going to be? Stas is off the ball. Going to get the run, but I think Kratmo's going to just about survive. And despite a big shoulder barge into the Tiergarten, Evan Kratmo's going to win in the MX5s on the Nordschleife, just in front of Dilts. And Stas may well be unhappy with that as he crosses the line in 3rd position at the end of this one. Hosik, meantime, is going to be 4th. Ahead of Stephen Johnson, by the way, who finishes 6th overall and wins in the AM class.
Yeah, great job from Stephen Johnson, but we've still got Horn and Sadler as they're going to for now, coming into the final podium position. Let's not forget the AMs that's currently led by Horn. Is Sadler going to make a move? I'm surprised he hasn't, actually. It doesn't even look like he's going to have any intention of trying, to be honest with you. Bit weird.
Maybe he didn't have the overspeed, I suppose. If he's got a bit of damage or something, we're not going to be able to see it because of the rain so far. But he decided just to stay behind him there for whatever reason. The timing, by the way, as far as people crossing the line, is not having a great time.
No, it's
so those
not.
positions are going to change, I think. I think the results will be fine, but as far as the tower goes on the left-hand side,
he's having a wobbly Wednesday.
He's having a very wobbly time. Messick and Matt Green are battling for 14th. These are 2 pro drivers who are nose to tail at the moment. Just had their trials and tribulations in the day, these 2, and they will come down the back straight now. Green just in front of Messick on the way towards the Dottinger, and surely in a moment Messick will go through on Matt Green. Messick not really involved in the championship fight this season because he's had a few bad rounds, but he's not that far away. Matt Green has missed 2 rounds, so his podium streak comes to an end. 3rd and 1st in the last 2 weeks going into this one, but he'll be taking this as a drop round, I would expect, by the end of the season, and he will be a bit closer to the top when we start to apply those drop weeks in the very final weeks of this series, as we always do. Here comes Messick, though, on the outside. He's got a bit of damage, as you can see, so straight line speed, not a big advantage for him. And Matt Green, actually, without any slipstream, is starting to pull back on him here. Into the Tiergarten they go. And a bit of a couple of goes at turning in there for Messick, but he should keep the place, or maybe not. Green gets a better run. He's also got better straight line speed, and he might just about beat him to the line. It's hundredths of a second. Oh, it's close.
Oh!
Thousandths of a second. Oh, wow. The timing's not going to stop when they actually cross the line, but I think Green just about managed it. Very close, though.
Yeah, Green did, I think, get it there as well. Let's bring you up the results of this one, as long as it's worked, of course. It has.
It has. Yeah, there we go. That's good news. It's Evan Crowd who wins the race. 4 tenths of a second ahead of Dean Diltz and Corey Stas, who was in that group as well, of course. Dan Kosick wins that second group battle with Dave Mull and Stephen Johnson just behind him. Christopher Herring was 7th ahead of Matt Van Horn. Scott Sadler rounds out the guys running out those inside a minute. John Amico rounding out the top 10 with Dave Hernandez 11th. Then watch out, Chase Petterjohn, Matt Green and Pat Messick round out those who finished the race at least. Anthony Solomon did not after just one lap. So not so many replays from the last few moments, but from the early part of the race, plenty to look at in the replay run through.
There is, definitely. And I'm just trying to find the very first one, and this was Matt Green.
So he's spun through the siphon, got involved in that big group. So Elliott clips the curb on the way in and goes for a spin through the corner. And there's that group that he rejoins and causes this. Who hit him here is the question. He's on the outside. Oh, it's a bobble over the curb on the inside there from, is it Dave Hernandez or somebody else? No, I might have dropped Dave Hernandez in there.
We might have to try and hold on. See.
It is Hernandez. It is, yeah. 667.
Yeah, Dave Hernandez.
Bobbles over the curb. We saw John Amico do it later on in the race, a lap 3, but he got away with it with Matt Green because there was more space. But look at that. There's no space here. Bobbles over the curb, goes into him. And it's not actually people hitting Matt Green, which is the problem. It's the guys who are just dispersing afterwards. You see, Solomon here hits the back of, and then there's a domino effect there. Solomon goes into the fence. That's the end of his day pretty much immediately. But there's a domino effect there with Pat Messick as well, who goes into the right-hand side wall. Spinning around on the left-hand side there is number 19, Tim Watchow as well.
He's the one who got the dunk.
It's not actually people hitting Matt Green, weirdly. It's people hitting each other as they're trying to avoid him.
Yeah, and that means people not slowing down for yellow flags. There we go. Right, I got Scott Sadler's past John Amico. Now, I think this is where we may have missed a 4-wide situation.
That car at the back might be a bit too far behind for it to be 4 wide, but let's see. He'll be getting a triple slipstream. Slipstream everywhere he goes at the moment. Now, pulls to the right-hand side. Yeah, I have a feeling it's not quite close enough. See, these 4, don't forget.
2.
There you go. See through the middle, Matt Green. And you see that these 4 all involved, you recognise them, all 4 involved in that incident we saw. And by the way, it would have happened barely minutes ago when these guys were actually doing this. So as I said at the time, I think these guys were slightly shaken up by that and thought, well, we've just had a big crash and just got away with one. Let's not make it 4 wide on lap 1 because we might well have another big crash.
Yeah, but for us it would have been exciting. Matt Green did something again after this. Now, is this the carbon copy? Didn't we see this earlier on, or is this a different one? Oh, it is a different one. But yeah, same corner for poor old Matt Green there as well. John Amico put himself out as well. He caused himself some drama. I do love his car livery. Oh, that's Matt Green.
I think it was Matt Green.
I think this is like a green race, isn't it? Matt's just been involved in everything.
I think he's been in every replay so far, hasn't he?
Yeah. I think he has.
2 spins of his own. 3 crashes, all of which he's been involved in. Now, this is the first thing he's not involved in. Down towards turn 1 for that battle.
I think that was just him going slow, to be honest.
4th.
Yeah.
And a bit wide for Kosick, but yeah. They're having a good fight all the way through. This has included the eventual AM winner, Stephen Johnson, who extended his championship lead in this race. And this is the final moment of the race. Hard to know how to call that one, really, but Corey Stas will be very pleased about it.
Cartfield hit the curb, watch. Hits the curb, can't rotate the car.
Now, there's still at least 50% of the racetrack on the left-hand side for Corey Stas. Of course, Stas won't have been expecting him to hit the curb and go into the side of him like that, but, you know, there is space there, so I think that's okay, really, in the end. Unlucky.
I think Stas had a bit more space than he thought he had, to be blatantly honest with you.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Also, on a normal day, if he gives that much room, he's going to get such a terrible run. He's not going to win the race anyway. So I guess he was giving it, you know, he was keeping in mind his own exit more than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. But it was a great race. I think this is the thing. The MX5s do deliver. And we've seen you could be out like 1.2 seconds or whatever it was and still catch the draft. So, I think it's still proving my point that we've got better racing in slower cars. And then, of course, next week is going to be an interesting one as well because we're going to the Skippies.
Yep, we are. Very much looking forward to the Skippies. I think Skippies is going to be very, very similar to this week, maybe with a little bit less contact. If there is contact, there's going to be people flying into the air because they are open wheel. So let's hope they don't make contact with one another. It's going to be another pretty long race as well. We're on the combined long layout. The combined Nordschleife. Not sure what that means. That's not a that's not a thing that really makes sense. It's either combined long or whatever. It says combined Nordschleife.
I'm not really sure. I don't know if that's the 24. That's not the 24-hour layout, surely. In the Skippies.
It might be. In fact, as we're recording this, because we've had a couple of delays this week because we've been busy and whatever, the driver's brief has just been posted while we've been recording this for the next round of the Skippies, which of course will be out quite soon. It says we're in the Skippy on the Nordschleife layout. So I am spelt wrong, but who knows how to spell Nordschleife properly? Certainly not me. It seems to me the no Grand Prix layout. Let's put it that way. The layout with no Grand Prix layout. That would make sense to me because I think even on just the Nordschleife itself, it's going to be approaching 8 minutes in the Skippy, to be honest. So I think it's just the shortest layout.
I think you might be right. I agree. And yes, it is spelt incorrectly. But as I said, who knows how to spell it? It actually missed the R out. It's Nodschleifer.
Yeah, it's the wrong end of the word that we normally get wrong. But anyway, we're not German, so and I can't speak German, so haven't got a clue. Anyway, we'll stop blabbering on and end it here. The Skippies will be out soon, of course, for the next round of the championship. Very much looking forward to round 9, of course, as much as we've enjoyed round 8 here in the Mazda MX-5s. I've been Ian O'Leary alongside Jez Parfitt. Until we see you next week for the Skippies, it's goodbye for now.